segment you ought to know. He's schooling us all things cars. Welcome back, Mike.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we've got another couple great questions for us today.
Wonderful.
Let's get right to it and see what you have to say. Hank writes, my car is using oil. All cars use oil, but he's got a problem with the usage. At my last oil change, it was 3 quarts low before they changed it. I've noticed that I'm missing 1 quart after driving 1,500 miles. My mechanic says there are no leaks. Is there something I can do, or do I need a replacement engine? It's a 2017 Jeep Patriot, a 2.4 liter. I have 145 and some change miles on it today.
Well, Hank, you've done 3 steps that I would have taken. The first step, make sure it's not leaking somewhere. The second step is to change the oil and get a good baseline with your oil level. And the third step is to do an oil usage analysis. So it sounds like you did that, and after, I think it was about 1 quart and 1,500 miles, seems excessive. The next step, I would determine where it's going, whether it's burning it, whether it's escaping through parts of the internal parts of the motor, or perhaps it could be a lack of maintenance as well. A lot of times if we are not up on our oil changes and doing them regularly, it can cause some coking and some buildup. And we've talked about those services that will break down that coking, some of the induction related services. But also too, something that's not done often, and being a Jeep, the PCV valve. That's a valve that allows some pressure that builds up inside the engine, inside the crankcase, to escape so it doesn't build up pressure and push oil where it should not go.
Okay, some things to check out. What is typical for an oil change? How often should we be doing that?
It depends on the vehicle. With the different size motors and the different capacities for oil, it certainly varies widely. We put a standard of 5,000 miles on our synthetic oil change, and that's a good happy medium where every manufacturer kind of aligns up right about in the middle.
Okay. All right. Next question's from Dawn. She says, my Volkswagen Passat has been quite finicky lately. When I turn on my heater, it makes a steady chirp. Sounds like a bird's in my dash. It's not there all the time. There's no rhyme or reason to when this little songbird shows up. I've thought about going after the noise with some 3-in-1 oil, but not sure where to apply it.
Do you recommend folks just opening the hood and start squirting oil in there?
Well, Dawn, I'm glad that you stopped when you were not sure.
Yeah.
It does sound like when you turn your heater on, so maybe the blower motor has a little chirp. There could be some leaves stuck or debris stuck in there. I would certainly take your cabin air filter out and inspect it. See if there's something in that fan motor maybe causing a noise.
Yeah. So not the 3-in-1 oil?
Not unless you're sure of where you're putting it. It certainly could cause more harm than good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's always easy to take it into Harrell and just say, here, I've got a bird chirping in my dash. Can you figure out what's wrong?
Our folks would be more than happy to sit down and listen to the chirp and give you some good guidance on what to do. For sure. And if it's something we can take care of in a short period of time, they'll do it for you.
You know, I've often wondered when you hear these weird little noises, do you get in the car and drive it around, or can you tell right in the garage if you just turn the vehicle on?
It depends on the noise, right? It depends on what we have to do to make that noise happen. Sometimes it's a rotational noise and it needs to be driven. Sometimes it's just a squeak from things moving around or bouncing.
That's why you guys are the experts over at Harrell Automotive.
We are the experts. One thing I wanted to say is we're training some experts on June 1st.
Yes.
The Women's Car Care Clinic.
We love that.
Right? So please, if you're interested in this and you want to know a little bit more about how your car works, our Facebook page, our website, and our Google page all have a link to sign up for that. And the cost is free. There's some classroom instruction and then a little bit of hands-on to get you familiar with the maintenance and some of the care that you should have done on your vehicle.
And they promise no mansplaining.
No mansplaining in this.
We
Zero.
love this. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. It's great to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back.